The mob war that has been hinted at since episode 1 officially begins in under new management of Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 8. These are the major events and even more significant disputes that Paramount Plus viewers have been anticipating. These are also some plot themes that the show may struggle to decide how to handle if it returns for Season 3. However, this episode is everything that has been simmering beneath the surface on its own merits, as the title implies, under new management, depicts the show's power structure devolving into a musical chairs game. Hey, hello everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Before going to the main topic, I want to say like this video and subscribe to the channel. Dwight Manfredi is targeted by Kansas City, while Chicky Invernizzi in New York finally receives what has been due to him. Additionally, desperate people take some extremely desperate actions that are likely to result in the deaths of 2 characters. However, with only 2 episodes remaining in the season, it is impossible to argue that the drama hasn't increased on this show. Under new management is when the 2 sides formally declare war on one another, even though there have been exchanges between Dwight's crew and Bill Bevilacqua's Kansas City mobsters throughout Season 2, such as the attempted murder of Dwight that left a dead guy on Bill's driveway. It's also intriguing to observe the many stances that each side adopts. While the Kansas City people are shouting about how they should have done this a while ago, Dwight is quite systematic in telling his staff to shut down the higher plane and stay low. However, that really draws attention to how different the 2 groups are. Dwight is aware that his side is to blame because Tyson Mitchell went rogue at the conclusion of Season 2, Episode 7, Life Support. Episode 8 begins with Dwight and the rest of the group lecturing Tyson about all the ways his actions were inappropriate. The inclusion of every character in that sequence, not just Dwight and Tyson, is fantastic because as Dwight notes, everyone is impacted by what Tyson did. Furthermore, Mitch Keller had good reason to be upset after giving Tyson the crucial lesson that preceded his disastrous shooting attempt. The way Dwight and crew respond in Tulsa King demonstrates the mob as family rhetoric that is employed in this and other gangster dramas. However, Tyson still doesn't appear to fully comprehend the repercussions of his behavior. The Kansas City squad, on the other hand, is incensed since one of its members is currently in the hospital after being shot twice in the shoulder. Naturally, they will be more aggressive. That also comes from the top, though, as Bill keeps proving that he is far less patient than Dwight. After being squeezed throughout the season, whether it's by Dwight or by New York, he simply wants to get his. However, the moment where Cal Thresher asks Bill for assistance with Jackie Ming, disclosing that Ming ordered the car bomb meant for Dwight, is Frank Grillo's best of the season thus far. Grillo does a great job of expressing both his anger and his exasperation when Bill discovers that all of this back and forth has been for something he wasn't even involved in. Starting a war is one thing, but when it is caused by the conduct of 2 individuals who left on their own initiative, it is quite another. The issue is no longer genuinely under anyone's control. An early moment between Dwight and his daughter Tina Manfredi is the most memorable scene in Tulsa King Season 2, Episode 8, and it has nothing to do with the mob. Dwight gets down with Tina after seeing how bad things have gotten and urges her to bring her kids back to New York. There are 2 reasons why this scenario is significant. First of all, it makes sense because Dwight would be acting inconsistently if he didn't care about his family, if the threat was that serious. Additionally, Tina's departure for New York guarantees that the authors will avoid the cliché of using her and/or her sons as pawns for a subsequent rescue by Dwight and company. The scene's message about the Manfredi family, however, is more significant. Terrence Winter, head writer of Tulsa King, told CBR that the show's focus on family is what sets it apart from other mob storylines, and this scene is among the best examples of that. Violence is almost at his door, and Dwight is making the only decision he can. A throwaway scene later shows that the Kansas City guys have started watching his house. Yet Tina is exactly right when she points out how fast this transition is. She's just moved her whole life to Tulsa not that long ago, and it's not that easy to uproot her whole family again. And that's not counting the emotional trauma. Tina is currently experiencing the fallout from Tulsa King's decision to relocate her to Oklahoma. However, if the program returns for Season 3, as it appears to be on track to do, this is one of the story themes that it will find difficult to handle. Is this the final time viewers will see Tina, or will she return to Tulsa in some way? The authors have recognized how difficult it is for her to return by recognizing how difficult it is for her to depart. It would seem unrealistic to have her raise the stakes for what would be the third time. Even if, or when this particular mob war is handled, there will always be the possibility of another issue down the road. The show must respect Tina's statement to Dwight that she cannot live this way. However, while Tatiana Zapardino and Sylvester Stallone both gave outstanding performances in that sequence, it is sad to not have Tina around. It's one of the best depictions of Dwight's humanity and fragility, and audiences can truly feel the range of emotions that he and Tina experience. In the same way that Mark Mitchell serves as Tulsa King's lens into Tyson's family, to maintain that concept on Dwight's side as well, Tina is crucial. Where does that narrative originate if she leaves? Even though Joanne is still there, she hasn't made a significant contribution to the plot in Season 2, and Dwight's sister doesn't have the same emotional resonance as his daughter and grandchildren. More significant than Chicky finally receiving the official heave-ho from Vince and the rest of the New York organization, which may also indicate that he and/or they will be less relevant in Season 3, is the fact that Jimmy is shot outside Higher Plane by one of Bill's men, and Armand goes insane and decides to rob Goody at gunpoint. It appears that Tulsa King will lose at least one supporting character by the end of the season. The idea of a mob war doesn't feel real until the audience witnesses the outcome, which occurs near the end of Season 2, Episode 8. Jimmy's injuries appear to be very serious, but the program might manage to get him to the hospital in time by pulling a fake out, like it did with Mark Mitchell. However, if the writers feel that Dwight's side needs victims, he's also a good candidate to be killed off because he's a character the viewer cares about but who isn't completely necessary to the plot. Even if Armand is still alive, he is no longer useful to anyone, including fans. The entire Undernew, his desperate attempt to save himself is the subject of management. After visiting Thresher and deciding to go to the FBI, he ends up robbing Dwight of his money. However, audiences are aware of the situation he found himself in, so it is difficult to feel sorry for him. After this, it's equally unlikely that Dwight will abandon Armand alive. He has no motive to be kind to him because he already treated him with disdain. However, the storylines of characters like Armand, Chicky, and even Thresher have essentially come to an end. It's intriguing that Thresher has ended up under Jackie Ming's control, particularly in light of Neil McDonough's casting. That aspect of the plot was spiced up by the notion of a fight between the two, but it turned out to be incredibly one-sided. Since Thresher is obviously intended to be a one-season antagonist, it would be intriguing to see him attempt to return towards the conclusion. However, it seems as though Undernew management is ready to purge any people that aren't totally essential to Tulsa King's future. The episode reaches the chaotic moment that viewers desire while simultaneously moving forward, which is why it succeeds. Hey, everyone, let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks, everyone.